Hello, guys and girls. Thank you to everyone being here with us today. Welcome to Startup Greece Talks. Today, I have this amazing guest, Mr. Konstantinos Kastanis from Solbotix. Welcome, Mr. Kastanis. It was a pleasure for me to be with you in Davos, Switzerland, only 10 days ago, and I'm very happy to be having this interview with you. Welcome.
Hi, Fedra. Thanks for having me.
I've been wanting to understand what you do since we first met. We didn't have so much time to discuss. So would you please care to tell me what you do, who you are, how you started?
Okay, yeah. So let us start by who I am. So my name is Konstantinos Kastanis. My main occupation, my main business is called ELVAN. It's a metal manufacturing company which produces fixed structures for PV mounting systems. As a training, I'm a mechanical engineer from the National Technical University of Athens. I have also got an MBA from the University of Indianapolis.
That's very interesting.
So yeah, Solbotix is for me a side project, but we will focus on that today.
What does Solbotix do? Actually, I would love to learn something about your background, anything that makes sense so that people get to know you a little bit more.
Well, I told you about my background. I told you that I have a company,
Solbotix related background.
Solbotix related background. So since we manufacture fixed structures for photovoltaic systems, I'm very knowledgeable about this market. I'm in the solar market, and it's a market that I really like it a lot. It also has got a deep purpose behind it.
Of course.
You know that we have a tremendous problem with climate change.
It's the most pressing issue, as we figured out in Davos, actually.
Yeah. You know, when asked the participant of Davos which they see as the biggest threat in 10 years from now, number one was extreme weather conditions.
Yeah, I remember us discussing about it, and this industry has insane market capabilities, money-wise, and also impact-wise, hopefully.
Yeah, impact-wise. Also, that is, as I told you, for us in our company, let us say our deep purpose, our North Star is that by 2050, the carbon dioxide emissions will be zero, what we call net carbon zero.
Carbon zero, yeah. So how did it start? Why did you start Solbotix? And what is Solbotix, actually?
So Solbotix really started because we saw a very, very big problem that exists in photovoltaic
panels,
solar installations, and that is that dust and soil and sand collects on the panels, which reduces their efficiency. Of course, up to now, this has not been noticed a lot because in Northern Europe, in the United States, where the most solar parks were installed installed the first years of the, let us say, of the solar boom. It rains a lot, so at the start there wasn't a problem, but as we started installing more solar parks in arid areas, that means North Africa, Middle East,
there's
South America,
of particles in
Australia,
in the air.
India, Suddenly we realized that the sand and the soiling, which collects on the panel, is so much that we may lose up to 3 to 4% of
efficiency?
Energy production, every day.
Whoa! Oh,
So
this
yeah,
is a big loss money-wise for
yeah,
the companies. Okay, so
yeah,
you had to find a way, if I understand correctly, to clean
yeah,
them and not do it
yeah.
manually. If I'm correct.
Yes. Let me give you another number. This is a more wow number. The International Energy Agency did this year a study, and they calculated that right now, this year, with the solar installations that we have now, not
Mm-hmm.
the ones that are going to be installed in the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
future,
Mm-hmm.
which we all know it will be a huge number,
Yeah.
the loss due to soiling is 7 billion euros every year. I mean, we are talking about a 7 billion euros problem. And this comes from, from the International Energy Agency. It's the benchmark,
Understood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what
It's
does
a
Solbotix do in
non-governmental.
order to
Yeah,
solve
it's a
this issue?
non-government. What do we do? First of all, we detected that the main problem is in the countries that I told you. I mean, the countries near the equator, where now solar parks are starting to
Get
be
installed.
installed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be installed. These countries were left behind, but now they are making great progress,
Mm-hmm.
giant steps, giant steps.
Mm-hmm.
And in these areas, they have, let us say, a triple problem. Number one is that they do not have water. You understand?
Of course, this is a
I
huge
mean,
issue
it's a bit,
because how else
yeah,
would
yeah,
they clean
yeah,
the
yeah,
panels?
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, in Germany, okay, you can clean them with water, but in the Middle East, it's crazy, to take water from the sea to desalinate it using oil, burning oil, to clean the panels to produce clean energy.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, you
doesn't
understand
seem
it,
yeah,
the numbers.
doesn't seem
Yeah,
very eco-friendly.
that is the number one problem they have. The second
Mhm.
problem I already said that it's that they have lots of sand there, which reduces their efficiency by too much every day.
Mhm.
And the third problem that they have is that in these countries, they go for big scale projects. I mean, they go for projects for 100 megawatts, 200
Yeah,
megawatts, 500 megawatts. We even have 1 giga in Abu Dhabi. Uh, so that rules out any possibility of manually cleaning, even if
of
we could.
course. Of course, of course. Makes sense. Yeah.
Uh, that's the starting from there. Solbotix designed a waterless PV panel cleaning robot,
Mm.
uh, which cleans can clean the panels every day. Um, the main characteristic is that it is waterless. It doesn't need water.
Mm-hmm. So
So
how does it work?
actually, yeah. So actually, what we do is we do not clean using brushes. We clean using some sort of a fiber cloth,
Mm-hmm.
which actually
The dust.
collects the dust. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we started. First, we saw the problem. We saw that it's a big problem,
Mm-hmm.
financially wise. I mean, I guess you are going to cover it, to ask that
Yes,
later.
of
But
course. I'm
for
I'm
us,
planning on asking more
yeah,
about the
but
technical details.
yeah, but the product market fit, for us is a no-brainer. You understand? Compared to other startups, it's the only thing that we did not have really any problem. You understand?
Of course,
The
of course.
problem
Makes perfect sense. Yeah.
it's Yeah, it's so huge. The problem is so huge and so obvious that you understand that the only problem that we did not have it was the product market fit.
I totally understand. So if I understand correctly, your way of generating revenue is that you sell these robots, or you rent them, I'm not sure, to the companies of the installments, or do you rent them to the company that has bought the installments?
First of all, I should make clear that right now we are a pre-revenue company. We do not have.
I'm aware.
Yeah, because it's a product that is very, very new at the market. There are some companies worldwide, and we are all trying to, let us say, to solve the problem, to crack the problem. But up to now, no company has succeeded in establishing what we could call an industry standard.
Yeah,
no company has succeeded to say, okay.
I'm planning on asking about the competition later. I would like to understand your business model and anything related to the product market fit that would make sense for you to share with our audience or investors, or anything that's important around that.
Yeah. Anyway, so about the revenue, this this depends on the specific project. We could sell perhaps to the investor of the park, maybe to the contractor which actually builds the park. Maybe we could sell to the O&M company, operations and maintenance company. It depends on the project. In whose responsibility it is to keep the panels clean, you understand?
Of course, yeah. Do you sell them or do you rent them? What makes more sense?
Both models work. Both models work. Selling works. Cleaning as a service works.
That was my thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. So I understand that you have a product market fit. It's pretty clear. It's really obvious.
Yeah.
Have you had any conversations around the pricing or what it would cost? Is it friendly to this extent?
Yes, of course. We have done some. Of course, we have done some discussions about the price, but really, in this market, price is not the number. It's not the number one criterion for the PV panel cleaning robot. There are other which are much more important.
Yeah, I believe you have shared some numbers around the value of it, and I believe we can dive a little bit deeper and talk about some more numbers, especially regarding the current market situation. So let's do some analysis in the numbers in the market, if you would like.
Yes, I just want everybody to understand that it is a market which is still being formed.
Of course. It's a very new and innovative approach.
Yeah, a new and innovative approach. So there are companies, they install robots. Sometimes they have many problems. The robots do not operate. You understand? It's a market which is in a very big, turmoil. But there is, as I said before, there is no industry standard yet.
Would you like to share with me some numbers regarding the market size of this service? Just like you said before, I bet there are other researches around it, so it would be interesting to know something.
Yeah. Right now, in this market, it is us, a Greek startup. There are a couple of Japanese companies. There is also a couple of Chinese companies. I should say we are the five main players. Maybe there are one or two companies from India, but we don't hear about them so much. So I should say these 5 companies, 2 from Israel, 2 from China, and us are the one who are trying, let us say,
to get into this market. And what is the size of the market?
To get into this market. First, let me tell you that we have our very, let us say, our target market. Our target market, it's mainly Middle East and North Africa. We have targeted specifically this market.
It's a very strategic decision.
Yeah. Because okay, we are near. The Indian market and the China market are huge. But in China, there are Chinese companies. Really, we do not have much of a chance there. India is also a huge market, but due to obvious geopolitical reasons, the Israeli companies have gone there and they have set up their factories there because it is very difficult for an Israeli company to sell to the Arab world. You understand?
Of course.
So you understand, this left a void in the Middle East, North Africa region, where we now compete with the 2 Chinese companies. Else about, I don't know.
I understood that it's a growing market, and I understand that the numbers, that the size of the market is pretty big right now. If there's any numbers that you would like to share, I'm open to listening. I would like to know, if there's no numbers to share, what do you see? Where do you see this initiative within the next 3 to 5 years? Thinking about the whole trending thing, and how do you see Solbotix itself? Because it's a living organism. It's changing.
Yes, I told you about which our target market is. I have not specific numbers. What I can tell you for sure is that these markets are going to grow in solar installations huge. I mean, when I say huge, I'm talking about really huge. I mean, some months ago, I was speaking at a conference in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, and the Deputy Ministry of Energy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia said, forget all that we know. Saudi Arabia won't be, in 10 years from now, won't be an oil-producing company. It will be the energy hub of the world. I mean, there is a huge transition going on in the Middle East. They are moving away from oil, and they are embracing all the renewable energy technologies. And so they will start producing electricity and green hydrogen, and they hope, and I'm sure they will be successful, to sell it to all the world, because they have some really, some really huge competitive advantages.
Since you talked about competitive advantage,
this area.
Sorry for interrupting. I have a gap. Connection gap. No, please proceed.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, because I want also to talk about our competitive advantages.
Great.
Anyway,
since you talked about competitive advantage, I would like to understand. I would like to understand, what is your competitive advantage exactly, and how does the company build a sustainable economic mode at this point? Will build.
Yeah, our main competitive advantage, let us say, started from a disadvantage we had. All the other companies, our competitors, they had really huge local markets.
Yes.
Which they served, and in which they could, step on them and modify the model a bit, or more than that, we don't know yet, because as I told you, there is no industry standard, to serve the markets of Middle East. So that at the start was a disadvantage for us. But on the other hand, is also an advantage because we started from a clean sheet of paper. Our engineering team worked really, really hard and very fast. So within 1.5 years, anyway, less than 2 years, we had an MVP from a clean sheet of paper, which was designed from day one specifically for that area. You understand, we did not take a model off the shelf that we had and let us say, okay, you have to go there where we have very harsh conditions. You know about that, temperatures up to 50 degrees, up to 50 degrees in the summer. We have the sandstorms. We have all this. So from day one, we designed specifically for this area. That is our number one competitive advantage. And the second competitive advantage, which we will go after, is that we plan to establish manufacturing locally. I mean, we plan to have the research and development department in Greece, but produce locally, because whether we like it or not, these countries, they do not have the limitations that we have here in Europe, in the European Union, which means that they can demand some percentage of localization in each project. For example, right now the localization for Saudi Arabia is at 30%. It means that when you build a solar park right now, 30% has to be produced locally. But this is but this is set to rise to 70%.
70,
70, in the near future. So you understand, whoever produces locally
has a great advantage when it comes to
huge competitive advantage.
Okay.
And so you see, and based on that also, the pricing it's not that it's going to be relevant, but
I believe that it's a lot easier, let's say, to produce locally, because you don't have to do the commuting / transportation.
But as I told you, it's the main thing is that you are counted on the local part, which in the coming future will be a very huge percentage in all of these countries. It's not only Saudi Arabia.
So I understand that this is also a diversifying factor for you when it comes to other companies or startups, and you're planning on implementing it in the near future just because you know the legislation around it. So that's great. That's perfect. Okay. Since we're talking numbers, I would love to talk a little bit more about your future financials, because right now you're in the pre-revenue stage. So any projections that would make sense for you, or anything that makes sense for investors? So are you you're currently bootstrapping, and are you planning on raising some funds? Literally talk to me about anything financial that makes sense.
I wouldn't say that we are bootstrapping.
Okay.
Of course we are producing hardware, which means that we need big sums. You understand? It's not that we are making some code, we're making application.
Yeah.
Which you understand.
Yeah. I
doesn't
meant
need a
that
lot
you're
of
not
money.
currently in the funding round. That was my point.
No, we are not in a funding round because first of all, we could invest some of our own money because, as I told you, we also have another company. So anyway, up to now we have invested from our own money 350,000 euros. And we also took a grant from the European Union of another 350,000 euros through the program Arise. Of course, this gives us some runway. Also, the company, is behind the project.
Of course.
Also, there are lots of other financial tools in the European Union where we can get funds, and we will be applying, till March, April. We will be applying to some of them.
And which is the valuation at which the VCs will invest in? I'm gonna push you a little bit because we're running out of time. So I would like to understand the valuation if you have done a valuation.
Yeah, it's really something at which I cannot answer right now. As I told you, because in the first half of this year, we will see what grants we can receive, and at the end of this, and at the end of the first half of the year, then we will see what our financial needs are, and then we will start, a financing round.
Okay, I understand. We can have the interview again then and see how the project's going. That would be really good.
Yeah, for sure, because grants are have the very good thing for us that they are not dilutive. You understand what I mean?
Of course, yeah. Since we're talking about raising funds, and because it's very important for us to be able to promote this to investors, I would like to talk again about what return on this investment our investors will have. So if you don't know now, we can talk about it later on. And since we're reaching the finalization of this interview, I would like to understand more about your team, because I understand that you need technical people behind it, people who know very, very well, know the industry very, very well. So would you like to wrap it up by talking to me about the talents that you have brought in, people that you trust and are part of your team, and of course, if you're searching people, it's a good time to share it with me so that we can share it to the audience.
Anyway, what I did not mention, but I should mention it at least to have we have the time, is first of all, in this company I have two co-founders. We were we were all studying together at the National Technical University of Athens.
Great. There's a technical background.
For all of us. Unfortunately, now I have to reveal my age, but all the three of us, if we add it, we have more than 100 years of experience.
Great. So you bring in
business,
tons of experience in the table.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I have the experience in manufacturing, from scaling up,
and running a business, and running a team of people.
Running a business,
which is very, very important.
And mainly, scaling. For example, the company I'm running now went from revenue of 2.9 million in 2015 to 17 millions 2 years ago. So, I mean, we can prove that we can scale.
Huge advantage when it comes to growing your startup. When it comes to experience, this is something that most young founders would die for.
Yeah, and it's 100 times more difficult to scale up a manufacturing company that
Yes, because as you said,
I
you're
don't know, an
producing hardware.
application.
It's
Yeah, it's
I
hardware.
understand.
So the second co-founder, it's a PhD in robotics, one of the best. Let me say, not only in Greece, one of the best in the world. And the third co-founder has an experience in marketing jobs, mainly in the oil sector, in big multinational companies all over the world. I mean, he's been in Greece, he's been in Russia, he's been in London. So that's about the co-founders. Behind them, we have a very, very good, up to now, technical team. We are talking about, again, PhDs in robotics. We also need mechanical engineers, and we need electrical engineers.
Of course.
Mainly these three. And from now on, since we now have an MVP, we have already started doing tests with big companies in the MENA region. We will start now building also, you understand, the team in operations. We'll start building a team in sales.
Makes perfect sense. So the future personnel that you would be looking for are in operations, maybe marketing, maybe sales team. Also, any technical people, like around the technical related part of the business?
Maybe yes, maybe no. Our technical team now is
very strong.
Is very strong. It depends, it depends on the financing. You understand? If we have some more money to burn, maybe we decide that okay, we can speed up, so we need more people. Bringing some people just to to speed things up, or maybe develop another product in the same area, because we already have some ideas.
Great. Is there anything that I have not talked about and you would like to share with anyone listening to us?
Really, no. I don't think that we have there is anything that we haven't covered.
Great. Okay, so truth is that this is a very insightful interview because it's touching areas, as we said in the beginning, like climate change, and anything related to energy technically is going to get an extreme boost also from European funds, but also international investors. And I really, really believe in these projects, and I really want to promote them. So it was very good to having this conversation today. And I would like to make a call to action to anyone listening to us. If you have people that would be a good fit for Solbotix, please feel free to reach out to Mr. Konstantinos Kastanis or myself, and literally anyone from Startup Greece organization. We can set up a call and discuss. We're looking for talented people and people who have a need for impact, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Kastanis, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I assume that we would like to thank everyone being here today with us, listening to us. And I believe we will be able to reproduce this interview, this talk of ours today in some months, and see where this is going, and the amazing things that your team is going to do, I bet.
Okay, Fedra, thanks for having me. Thanks to Startup Greece for everything they have done, for what they're doing for promoting Greek startups all over the world. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Bye-bye.